How often do you think about the Oscars? I mean, really think about the Oscars. I know we all think about them for like 3 months at the start of the year when the race is actually on, but like, how often do you actually think about how many movies have won an Oscar? It's over 1,000 at this point, over 1,050 actually. They range in genre from sci-fi to horror to drama to comedy to drama to romance to drama to Jesus Christ. There's so many dramas, you guys. You don't even know. And they range in quality from genuine classics we still talk about to this day to hidden gems we've forgotten unfairly to genuinely some of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. But all those movies are kind of a snapshot of where culture was at the time they won because they won Oscars, because they were considered big and important enough to be Oscar nominees, because the Academy saw something in them, even if we don't totally get it. So the premise of this podcast is this. Every episode, I will randomly determine an Oscar-winning movie, get two volunteer guests to talk about it with me, and we'll chat. The discussions will be a little free-form, a little loose. The only requirement for guests is that one of the three of us, either myself or one of my guests, has to be watching the movie for the first time. At least one. Sometimes it's all three of us. That's fairly common, actually, because a lot of these movies are more obscure than you might think. I would like to note that a movie's inclusion is not a recommendation of its quality. I saw the TV Glow, my favorite movie of 2024, didn't get nominated for any Oscars, whereas Amelia Perez, one of the worst pieces of shit I've ever seen in my life, won two. It's also not an endorsement of anyone who won an Oscar or was in an Oscar-winning movie. People who are cruel or thoughtless or racist or other forms of bigoted or absolute monsters have won Oscars. We sure all have a laundry list of those kind of people who have won awards, and I don't like that. I don't think anyone else does, but I don't think it's helping any of us to pretend that it's not the case, to pretend that these people didn't win their awards, and to pretend these movies don't exist. Even monsters can make great art sometimes, and even good people can make terrible art, so we're gonna find out what kind of movies win Oscars together. It's gonna take a while to examine them all. A lot of movies have already won Oscars, and it's not like they're stopping doing ceremonies while I'm doing my podcast. So I hope you want to come along. And with all of that in mind, I'm your host, as always, Ellie McConaughey, and with me today is Jasmine Garcia.
This movie opens with the characters leaving Florida, and I just wanted to scream, please take me with you!
Oh, God. And Justin Frankly.
They say I'm pretty fly, but I don't think I'll have it over the actual fly in this movie.
Ooh. Who would name a child Fly?
They were so certain. Like, someone, they made a bet with someone. Okay, my first kid, I'm gonna name him Fly so that all the girlies can say that he's pretty fly for a white guy. Then they fell in love with a black guy and they're like, fuck. Well, hell with it.
I don't know. I think it falls within the running theme of Tennessee Williams naming characters anything. We have Brick. We have
We do. We have we have Chance in this movie.
Brick, I never discourage this any other time. Do not transition.
No, that's like the perfect non-binary name, though.
That's a perfect non-binary name, but it's also literally a trans girl insult. I haven't even introduced the movie yet. Sorry.
Jesus Christ.
We are already off topic. We are here today to talk about Sweet Bird of Youth, the 1962 Paul Newman film that won Best Supporting Actor at the 35th Academy Awards, and which we're all apparently thinking a lot about. Half the time when I pick up like some movie I've never heard of from like the 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s, I'm like, well, that was forgotten for a reason. Not the case here. Not the case.
No, this is actually very good. Like, and it's hard to go wrong with Tennessee Williams. Tennessee Williams is one of those playwrights that I really should read more of, considering I have liked so much of everything I've engaged with, which unfortunately hasn't been much since high school. But what's really great is that they can completely remove the total bummer ending that most of his stories have in the Hollywood version, and it's still a damn good movie.
Yeah,
I get what Junior is talking about, like, oh, you're ugly now, no woman will want you, but like, bestie, all you did was take 1962 Paul Newman and give him a rad as fuck scar. Women are absolutely still gonna go for that.
That's what I was saying. Women love scars. And also, he got castrated in the original play, to be clear.
Yeah, I did in fact read that. That's a little more hardcore.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, thankfully they didn't do it on screen or on stage on the actual play version of it. Though I can't imagine it would be. I'm having a hard time thinking of the foley or the stagecraft or pantomiming a castration on stage.
You could do some crazy things with shadows, I'm just saying.
I There's nothing I can say that is even by the extremely loose standards of appropriateness for this podcast. There's nothing I can say, so I'm just moving along,
We're just not going to do it.
floating along. We're floating along past that. No, the actual thing that this actually struck me a lot, and I talked with Jasmine a little bit, so I know that had this comparison in their head too. Is like Tennessee. Okay, first off, 10 out of 10 name. Like I know people probably told you that all the time, but like
It is a great name.
rockin' name, Tennessee. Anyway, Tennessee. How do you feel about the Great Gatsby?
Yeah, considering how much many of his characters are just people who are holding on to dreams that no longer suit them, I'm sure he has thoughts.
I think he literally wanted to write a book about the Fitzgeralds.
That tracks.
I was kind of skimming through some stuff I could find about him, and like it was this Dick Cavett interview he was having, and like he either knew them or was aware of them. Well, obviously he was aware of them, but he seemed to indicate that he would be interested in writing something like that, and it's like I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it very much tracks that he would be a fan of Gatsby and Fitzgerald's work in general, just from looking at his general body of work. Again, I really only ever studied him in high school when I read The Glass Menagerie. Underrated. And of course, his much better known work, A Streetcar Named Desire. And the thing you gotta know, one of the things that they really emphasized in my English classes was that Tennessee Williams had a lot of trauma, including involving his sister getting lobotomized, basically. So there's pretty much always some sickly or put upon young woman in his work, and there's usually some slightly older, failing theatrical type of woman in his plays, and we do get a little bit of both here.
What kind of struck me about all the women in this film is all of them are just kind of over it.
Mm-hmm. And they're open about it. It's so nice.
Yeah, like Lucy, I guess, is still kind of putting up the front in her first scene, but Heavenly, Tennessee, please. No one's named that. Tennessee, please.
You say that, but I cannot tell you how many students I've taught that were named Navia, which is just heaven backwards.
I guess. Don't name your kid that either.
No, I've been saying that for years.
Obviously, we started with his horrific naming scheme at the start, but I do appreciate that he seems to be the kind of writer where it's like he has like a first draft name and he never really gets back to it. It's like, what should I name this character? Heavenly, that's fine, and it continues. I respect that.
Yeah, never revise.
And she's a great character, honestly.
Yeah, like I like that in her first scene. You know, we don't. The movie keeps jumping back and forth between the story happening now and like flashbacks. By the way, very good editing here. Like there's a couple of cuts that I quite liked,
and some interesting transitions.
But I was extremely fond of like the first scene we see her is when her dad basically comes like threaten her like don't go see that boy even though he's come back in town to see, and she's just like completely over his shit, just like, okay dad, yeah, fuck you too.
And it's funny because, like, for the first 30 minutes, I'm like, wow, there's a whole lot of people talking about what they want for her, and she doesn't really get to speak for herself. And then her first scene is her not only speaking for herself, but out and out rejecting what her father has to say. Like, she's still stuck with them for the majority of the film, but she's not afraid to speak her mind, at the very least in private, which is a huge step for somebody who is stuck in that kind of environment.
Mm-hmm. And Alexandra, like, there's an absolutely wonderful scene towards the midpoint where like Chance has gotten blackmail material on her, and she just like, yeah, I'm not threatened by you. I don't care about you, man.
I told you she's a very Ellie coded character.
Including running off with a woman at the end. Although we only can take implication from that. I ship it. I ship her and Lucy.
Oh, same.
Go be toxic together. Although Lucy, you know, you ever see movies like older movies and make connections you weren't expecting to?
Mm-hmm. Do tell.
So like Pretty Woman.
Oh, I kind of see it. And also, not for nothing, Tennessee Williams was very, very gay. So,
Hmm. I was just like seeing the scene where Boss Finley, which is at least a nickname, so we can just roll with that. Boss Finley comes and sees her and does the like snap the jewelry case closed on her fingers, but he actually gets her because he's mad at her. And it was just like, did the director of Pretty Woman see this movie? I guess I'll have to talk about Pretty Woman one day, but not today.
oh, jeez. I keep on going back and forth on whether or not it's eligible for mine.
Elaborate.
People keep on trying to say it's a Pygmalion or a Cinderella, but I've yet to find any actual creator intent, which is the whole thing.
Oh wait, it's not actually eligible for mine. I won't have to talk about it. I don't actually like Pretty Woman very much.
I can tell.
I think it's kind of like, I don't know. It's one of those movies where I feel like it was probably very something to a lot of people in 1990, but I didn't see it in 1990 when it came out because I was between the ages of 0 and 1.
Yeah, I've never seen it myself, and I've never really felt compelled to.
It's not. It's also like,
It's very much eligible for Rivers.
yeah, I guess someday I'll probably talk about it on Rivers. I do have a lot of thoughts on it. Well, we're not gonna. We're gonna like have to get into the basics of how it portrays prostitution, which is not great.
What? A 90s movie not being good about portraying sex work? The devil, you say. And speaking of sex work,
Speaking of sex work,
this movie,
it's about a gigolo.
yes, our leading man is a sex worker, and not for nothing, he's portrayed with nuance and respect. It's almost like there's a double standard or something. But also, again, I think Tennessee Williams wouldn't have been quite as toxic about this.
That was my running up gag. I was going to open it with doing Just a Gigolo by David Lee Roth.
Maybe I'll play that for the stinger. Wait, is it originally by David? Never mind. No, yeah, it kind of like slow plays that reveal too, because like for the first like half an hour of the film, Alexandra is basically comatose in bed. So I genuinely forgot she was there for big until like she suddenly re-enters the story and suddenly becomes really cool.
Yeah, it takes a while for this to not feel like two plays stitched together. And as I was doing research, turns out I was right on the money. This was initially two separate plays that Tennessee Williams just kind of stitched together.
I kind of like hmm. You can see the stitch marks, yeah, but like how do I put this? I feel like the first play, which would just be Chance and Alexandra in the, I presume would just be like a one room play, you know, room in Rome for toxic straight people. Shout out the three people who got that reference. It would be kind of just like a huge downer and not be very interesting to watch. You know, one room like there are one room plays that really work. I do quite like Bug if you can see a good production of it, but they're hard. They're tough. They can feel kind of artificial. If you know, like where everything has to happen in this one room when like that's not really people leave rooms to go do things.
Hell, even the Man from Earth takes place inside of a room and then immediately outside that building.
That's true, but The Man from Earth is also made on approximately $25 in a ham sandwich. So
And I wouldn't have it any other way.
to be clear, audience and Justin, I love The Man from Earth. So I can see the stitch marks. I am glad he stitched them together. I think the other play would just be, it would just be like it would just read like Great Gatsby fan fiction.
Yeah, and and honestly, I like how it all ends up coming together really well. Like me saying this feels like two separate plays wasn't really a dig on the movie because it stuck the landing.
Mm-hmm. It's, I mean, like to be fair, plays to movie adaptations can also feel kind of stagey and fake, and often get kind of like,
Especially in this era.
Yeah, I mean, like, film in this era was still kind of stagey. The 60s, we'd gotten past it largely, but there was still the remnants of that. And, like, the other problem is that I feel like a lot of gimmicks in play form don't really work in film form. I like the example that people usually go to, that I've been going to for the last amount of time, that you'll find out when I say it, is the film adaptation of the last 5 years, which does not work in film form at all. And I don't know if I could even explain why. Maybe someone who's better with explaining plays could explain it, or not. I don't. Maybe I think I'm the only person who's seen.
I mean, I actually quite liked the last 5 years film. Like, it's not perfect, but like there's you could see the effort to translate it to film. It just didn't always land, obviously, because Hollywood has gotten mostly not great at adapting stage plays or musicals.
They go through like waves of it, and lately they've just kind of stopped. I think they're currently. I mean, I think the most consequential release in terms of like adaptations, film, movie theaters with plays in them is just going to wind up being theatrically released pro shoots.
And in fairness, that's kind of what the theater community has wanted for a long time anyway. So, yay. I mean, Wicked did well. I mean, part two, not that much, but
Wicked is kind of like our. I mean, I could have told them Wicked Part 2 wasn't going to do well for all the reasons why the second half of Wicked is kind of like not the best. We're not.
it's controversial at best.
I cannot be objective about Wicked, so I'm not going to try. We're
Me neither.
moving on.
Yes.
I cannot derail another episode talking about Wicked.
No.
Speaking of Wicked, Boss Finley.
Oh my
What
god.
a wretched, evil bastard.
And not even and like in a way that unfortunately has aged like fine wine.
He is like, I love sort of like the moments where you realize, going back to watch older films. It's one of the things I do love about older films. Like, nah, man, this particular kind of guy has existed forever. Just this vile little man controlling his fiefdom, hypocritical and morally self-righteous, and just awful. Just awful. Enjoy your fucking Oscar.
Oh yeah. Is he the one who won it? Good for him.
He is.
Good for him. Good for him.
This was nominated for three Oscars: Geraldine Page for Alexandra, Shirley Knight for Lucy, and Ed Begley for Boss Finley, and he's the one who won.
He would not have been my pick for who would win if I had to choose one of them, but I am glad he did. Because, no, just, I wanted to punch him in the face every time he was on screen, and that is the point.
Well, it's one of those cases where it had to win, because if it didn't win, then Lawrence of Arabia would have won everything. And it only won most of everything.
Yeah, like the reason neither Heavenly nor Alexandra. Oh no, I was wrong. It is Heavenly for Best Supporting Actress. Shirley Knight playing Heavenly, not Lucy, which also makes sense.
Yep.
It's actually kind of funny that Geraldine Page got top billing when, I guess it's because she's actually the one on screen in the opening. Never mind. No, like, unfortunately, Best Actress and Best Supporting Actress were kind of like decided before the Oscars even started, because the year The Miracle Worker came out.
Yeah, that'll do it. I need to be on that episode.
Best Actor went to To Kill a Mockingbird, and the rest, as Justin indicated, was pretty much just Lawrence of Arabia.
Oops, Lawrence of Arabia.
We love Lawrence of Arabia in this household. You'll not convince me.
I have not seen it.
It's real good. It's real good.
Looking forward to you giving me the excuse to finally watch it.
Hell yeah. I don't know, like, he's very good. He plays this evil little turd of a man very well, as does Rip Torn playing his son.
Yeah.
Who does not look at all like Rip Torn.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Yeah, I made the joke in the super secret chat, but I have never imagined Rip Torn could be young, and to see him young,
yeah,
I can't imagine how he progressed to, like, what happened in that 40 years, man. He lived a hard life.
He looks like an extra from West Side Story.
He does. He looks like a shark.
A jet.
You're right. A jet would be. He's good in it. He's again just this absolute little monster of a human being.
It's like, oh, it's the progenitor of Trump and Trump Jr.
Yeah, his own personal little brown shirt.
Yeah, that was fun. I'm not the Boss Finley youth group or whatever. I was just like, yeah.
Again, it there's something to be said about, oh yeah, so things have always just kind of been like this. I don't know if that's comforting or depressing.
Yeah, give him a Hawaiian shirt and like a tiki torch, and take it a few years back.
Mm. I did note to Jazz in we were like talking when I was watching it. I was like, oh, look at all those Confederate flags during the like political rally at the end, and that's not me like critiquing the movie. That feels very authentic.
Oh, the movie is definitely has its opinions, and none of them are positive about these people.
And Mississippi just kind of looked like that until now.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
We'll let you know when they knock it off. Uh,
Yeah, no, as soon as I realized they were going to Mississippi, I was like, okay, never mind, don't take me with you.
I don't know. I want to go to. They're going to New Orleans. Lucy and Alexandra.
Well, sure, I'll go to New Orleans. But when they stopped in Mississippi, I was like, no, thank you.
No, I was trying to remember what my talking points. Oh, we were gonna talk about the Great Gatsby of it all because like okay, so I'm being a little bit of a shit when I when I say it's like Great Gatsby AU fan fiction. What if Daisy and no, we're not doing that. We're not doing a bit.
Yeah. Listen. I have many thoughts about queering up the Great Gatsby. We can't do this right now.
No, I was like the AU is what if Daisy and Gatsby. What if Daisy wasn't married when he came back?
Well, that too.
Though he didn't actually get to Korea though.
Nope.
He skipped out on it, which based you are always morally justified in dodging the draft for the Korean War.
Hell yeah.
He wasn't even like drafted by the government. Finley just sort of pointed at him out of the crowd and just and he's leading them.
It's like, the fuck you mean he is?
Yeah, but that would be my response.
Where do you get off saying this?
There's a line like I guess maybe 2/3 of the way through the film where I don't remember, I think it's probably Chance who says it, who's like, yeah, Boss Finley really loves to see people travel because his number one solution to every problem is here's your train ticket, here's $100, go.
Yep. Just the kind of person who has a lot of money to throw around and thinks that means he can solve everything with it.
Mm-hmm. No, the reason the Great Gatsby comparison really hits me is not just because a lighthouse features prominently in both of them, although I did notice that.
Yeah.
It's because they're both like coming at the American dream from similar angles.
Yeah, this is basically what if Daisy wasn't so spineless, kind of. Which, to be clear, I am not saying that saying that Daisy's not an interesting character. She is, but Heavenly's got a little bit more agency going, and she also uses it better. She uses what little agency she has a lot better.
So, like, part of the problem with Daisy as a character, and this is not like a problem from a writing perspective, it's a problem from a character perspective, is that like going against the grain, even just to get something that you want, is always going to be fucking hard, and Daisy just doesn't want to fucking do it.
She does not want to do hard things.
And honestly, kind of like by the time we meet Heavenly, she's kind of the same way, but she's not, it's less of a coward and more of a beaten down. There's the great flashback to her and Chance at the lighthouse where she's like clearly heard all this shit that he's saying about how he's going to get his big break over and over again.
Yeah, she's just like, we could be happy without this. You don't have to do all this just because my father says you're not good enough for me. Fuck my father. Whatever.
Do not fuck her father.
But am I good enough for me?
Yeah.
I need it. He might say I need it, but I know that I need it. I guess that's another comparison to Great Gatsby. It would be what if Daisy wasn't married yet, and also Gatsby didn't actually get rich yet. He just was working on it because like throughout this, like his grand plan is to somehow become a millionaire to prove himself that, hey, you can sell your daughter to me. You don't need to use her as like some sort of what do they call those? You don't need to use her to get dowry.
Anyone can be a millionaire, so everybody's got to try it. This movie has so many good lines, which is again not surprising. It's Williams.
Dude could write. Yeah, like that's sort of like the critique it's making, in that he's fully absorbed the, you got to be rich, you got to make it, blah 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 mindset, and it's also clearly like fucking him up.
No, this is not good for his mental health at all.
But it is also extremely funny that like the number one recurring bit is that I don't know how to explain the big twist at the end. Like the her dad, Heavenly's dad, Boss Finley, has created an arranged marriage in for her to marry the doctor who gave her an abortion.
Yeah, which I kind of had the sense that okay, something fucky happened here, and I kind of suspected it might have been something like that. And just to have that one journalist just shout it out at the rally, mwah, I'm so sorry for what happened to you, reporter.
And it was actually another thing that was toned down from the original play.
Yeah.
In the original play, it was an abortion, sure, but the guy fucked up, and it was actually a hysterectomy.
Eep.
Yeah, it went so poorly that she's sterile now. Which that's the thing that happened with back alley abortions, people, which is why it's bad to legalize it.
Uh, hey, you there was like a period where that element wouldn't have been as relevant, and I'm really tired, y'all. I think I'm just gonna nap.
That sounds great.
I think I'm just gonna nap. Good night. Wake me up. It's actually we're recording this on the 3rd of July, and tomorrow is the big stupid like to America 250 thing.
You don't deserve a birthday party, America.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I've been trying to remember a 4th of July where I was more ashamed of my country than this one. Maybe like '04 during Katrina and the height of Iraq War fever. Like maybe I was more ashamed of my country then, but it's just like
It's hard. It's hard to say. Hard to say if they're
and like I guess there's another Oscar-winning movie that I'm very fond of called you might have heard of it. It's called No Country for Old Men, and I'm not going to talk too much about it, but like one of the points that is made towards the end is the main character wants to stop being a cop because he thinks America's gotten too violent, he can't keep up with it anymore, and the person he tells that to responds by telling him a story of how his dad was a sheriff in this area back in the 30s and just got shot in the stomach on his front porch and died. And like it's just sort of this extremely bleak. Cormac McCarthy was very fond of this point that this extremely bleak point that America has always been like this kind of nightmare country soaked in blood. That's kind of what Blood Meridian is all about. Blood Meridian's a great book. You will in fact want to lie down on the floor and die after reading it, so go read it. It's really good.
yay! Stone Cold Bummers.
Yay.
Same thing with The Road.
The Road is less about that specific theme though, but yeah.
I will say, watching this, like even though it's been, sanitized a bit, because I still think this is in the Hays Code era.
We're near the end of it, but yeah.
But the fact that you have a lot of these like return types. It's like things were so much better in the 50s, things were so much better in the 60s, and like here we have an alcoholic, drug addict who is being towed along by a gigolo, and it's like these things existed, these things happened. It just like there's the sanitized idea of what they think the country was like 60 years ago is a fantasy. Like even at the time when they were living in the fantasy they want to recreate, it wasn't true.
We talk a lot about in this country about the nuclear family. Mom, dad, 2 kids, white picket fence, all that bullshit in a single family household. Dog, yeah, or pet. And like one of the points that I always try to like reiterate to people is like, okay, so family arrangement is a consequence of economic, social, and cultural conditions around you, right? So the nuclear family was the default mode of arrangement for families for a single economic group in a single part of a single country in a single race, to be clear, although at that point economic group and race were pretty one-to-one, for maybe 15 to 20 years at the longest. It was a product of post-war American middle class. It was not very common before. It hasn't been very common since, and nowhere else in the world. But we keep pretending it's like the baseline for humanity because that's the era we all want to return to, apparently.
Yeah, which is it's kind of insane how something that lasted for such a short amount of time for such a small number of people, it just completely took over the cultural zeitgeist. Is it really just because that was when the advent of television happened, and therefore that's where all the sitcoms took place that kind of poisoned all of our brains?
I mean, Ellie is about to put on her politics hat
Good.
again, which Jasmine might recall me like blacking out and doing the last episode I recorded with Fair.
Yes, and I love it. Go.
But the simple fact is that the nostalgia cycle works in 20-year bursts. We in 2020s are flashing back to the 2000s, who were themselves trying to flash back to the 80s, who were themselves trying to flash back to the 50s. And the thing is, that's the point where the modern Republican Party was born. Philosophically, if not literally, we're not going to go into the Southern strategy and the kind of split. But also, the 20-year cycle before that is the Great Depression, and the 20-year cycle before that is World War One. So that those nostalgia cycles are out.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are all just pretending because like the 50s were the last time 20 years ago which is really just the 70s that we're 70s and 80s we're talking about, where we could pretend that life wasn't so scary and complicated 20 years ago, and it was. And movies weren't better back then. You just don't remember all the bad ones.
And also apparently there are people who are getting nostalgic for 2016. So I think the nostalgia cycle shrinking.
The nostalgia cycle is shrinking, especially in media, because because the legacy sequels are catching up with mainstream art. And I said this in my review of The Devil Wears Prada 2, which I did not like at all, that like the most consequential moment in film of the last 15 years is not actually any moment in a movie, is in the movie in question, but it's not important in the movie. It is the end of the Force Awakens trailer, where Han and Chewie are standing there. Chewie, we're home. That beat,
Yeah.
which is hilariously artificial in the actual movie, but never fucking mind. It's and like that is the thing that all the big movie studios are been trying to recreate. So it's hard to be nostalgic for anything after that because like it's just recycling of older stuff. It's just another 10 Jurassic Park sequels and 20 Marvel movies. Sorry, I'm getting kind of cynical. Um,
What? You being cynical, Ellie? Who do you think you're talking to? Who do you think you're talking to about this? I mean, it's between me and Justin. Come on.
I love you, Jazz. If I may be a little hopeful, I don't know. We had the two biggest hits of this year are both weird original horror films, so fingers crossed.
This is true. Huh? Fucking Zaw.
But yeah, like that's sort of the answer to why we were doing that, and you can see them kind of already trying to recreate the nostalgia cycle in this movie, in the politics of the late 50s and early 60s, because the hippie movement hasn't really kicked in yet in 62. Although the beatniks are we're not doing that. We're not talking about that. Where they're like trying, the social push around the Korean War was very heavily people trying to recreate the emotions of World War II, of the togetherness, of the, trying to work it all together, and we will beat the Nazis and blah 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 blah. And then it turned out Korea was just an unholy quagmire that nobody won, and then it's on pause forever. I kind of got off the movie there. I'm sorry, I blacked out.
Well, we can appreciate the way that Finley's eyes lit up when he saw that the Korean War was started. He's like, "Oh my God, I have a plan now." But we mentioned that a bit earlier.
Which is very politician of him, unfortunately.
Finley, possibly the first politician to intentionally send a person to die on purpose. And usually it's just sort of an abstract idea that they're doing it, for capital or political theater. And no, this guy, he's doing it to kill someone.
And also usually it's pretty impersonal. Like, oh, I'm just gonna send 10,000 troops over to Iraq to die and to kill a bunch of innocent Iraqis. He's like, no, I'm sending that guy to go die and kill Koreans. No, he can do that if he wants. That's not what I'm here for. Honestly, dude, just hire a hitman. Have some dignity. Don't fucking foist your assassination off on the Koreans. They have enough problems.
Get your chud son to kill him. He's so excited to do it.
Rip Torn is, I don't know how to explain his character. He's very menacing, but also very childish. Like, his recurrent beat is he will just start laughing about nothing.
And he'll whine to his dad about something.
I am kind of amused. I think
even his dad doesn't respect him.
Well, yeah, could you respect that man?
No, but I also couldn't respect the other man. I don't respect him.
That's fair.
Chance is the closest. No, that's not true. Actually, I kind of respect Fly, even if his name is silly.
He is pretty fly for a white guy, but that's not actually.
He's not a white guy.
Yeah, that's not actually an accomplishment for him. I don't know why I'm stuck on that song. I love that song.
It's a good song. It's a fun song.
No, like, oh god, I lost my train of thought.
Again, no, sorry.
No, I do that. No, it's no, like, Geraldine Page is really good in this movie. I actually think she's giving the best performance in the movie.
It's up there at the very least. Like, there's just some, like, it's kind of like, what if Norma Desmond was written by somebody who actually did have some real empathy for her?
Yeah, and to be clear, Ed Begley is also quite good in this. Yes, I've seen 12 Angry Men. He's extremely good in that as well.
Coldest take of the episode.
Hottest take of all time. I'm a take so hot, I'm going to use it to keep myself from boiling to death this weekend. 12 Angry Men, good movie. But I like, I think what makes Geraldine Page really good in this is, characters like this, the sort of drunk starlet, they're all over old Hollywood movies. And I think she's really good at pulling out the very small moments. Like, the reason I was thinking of it is when Junior goes and threatens her, she's very, like, dismissive of him. And then the moment he leaves, she basically collapses, which I think is a very good character beat. I also quite like when her agent calls and there's just this moment of just extremely small vulnerability before the mask goes back up. She gets the closest to a happy ending, I think. Well, I guess Chance kind of gets a happy ending.
Yeah, no, he and Heavenly get to run off together, which, again, it is kind of funny how at least twice Tennessee Williams adaptations kind of slapped a happy ending onto what was a stone cold bummer ending. Because for those of you who don't know, dear listeners, at the end of A Streetcar Named Desire, Blanche's sister stays with her husband / her sister's rapists. Meanwhile, in the movie, she out and out says, "You will never touch me again," and runs away with their baby.
And this ending is much happier than the
castration
plays version, which has the implied castration, and also the way they're framing that. It's like a castration for both of them. It's that both Alexandria is, there's no way in hell that their newfound fame is going to last forever. They'll burn out.
No.
They'll burn out eventually because Hollywood is fickle. So they're very temporarily going to enjoy the modicum of success they found with their reemergence. And Chance has decided to stay because he has nowhere else to go, and he's just going to accept that he's going to get castrated.
Mm-hmm. I was also thinking, like, the other thought that I had about this versus other Tennessee Williams adaptations is both of them have a climactic moment where a dude stands outside shouting a woman's name repeatedly.
Yeah, something about. Honestly, this probably was on. I wonder if that was actually an intentional Streetcar reference, or if that was actually in the original play. Again, I gotta read that play.
You do have to read that play. I'm gonna do an adaptation where they keep the castration, but instead of an actual castration, I just make you watch all of both parts of castration movie.
Yeah, that sounds like something you would do. I knew you were either going to say that or you were going to make a transition joke.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too bad, would it? Castration movie can't be that long. It's what, like 9 hours together, the two of them?
The one I was thinking of, because I've seen the... I don't know why Paul Newman keeps ending up in Tennessee Williams-related things, because he's in this, he's in Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, he directed a version of Glass Menagerie. So in my mind, I'm imagining this through line where it's like, okay, so we're starting here, and now that they've run off together, it's going to become cat on a hot tin roof. So we have the happy ending of Finley getting cancer, and then it's not a Tennessee thing, but obviously then they'll transition to Cool Hand Luke as the end of this fake trilogy.
Sure. That works.
You know what? I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Okay, fund it. We're doing that now.
Fuck it, we're doing a Tennessee Williams cinematic universe. Let's go.
It's gonna be like all these all these plays take place in the same universe. Oh, does that add to the story at all? No, but they all do. That's my new thing. Everything's in the same universe if it doesn't matter. I was trying to think of some other stuff that I really wanted to talk about. I love the recurrent like monster bit between Alexandra and Chance. I wrote down
Yeah, that was interesting.
my note like I like you. You are a nice monster.
I wrote that down too. I wrote down a couple of the monsters. And like he was like complimenting her, and she finished her sentence with calling herself a monster. And I was just like, okay, if y'all keep doing this, I'm gonna have to write the actual monster version of this. Is that what you want?
Yeah, I'm down for that.
I know you are, Ellie.
I understand why they changed the castration. Film has to be kind of literal in a way that theater doesn't have to. I don't know how you. I agree with Justin. I don't know how you stage that without do you play the audio of scissors? Like, what's going on there? I don't want to know. Don't tell me. People in the comments, don't tell me. I do not want to know. But it does kind of like. I think the theory they were going with is, the movie's all about youth and beauty, and now he's not beautiful anymore, which I guess works, but like, I don't know, have him throw some boiling water on him or something. Like,
Yeah, give him the treatment that like half the Phantom of the Opera adaptations have.
Yeah, it would be too graphic, but it's almost the thing where it's like maybe if they had like somehow gouged his eye or like did something to like fuck up his face worse. But like again, it's the Hays Code, so there's only so much they could do to indicate he was injured.
we're kind of like at the end of the final gasp of the Hayes Code. It ended in, I want to say, like 68. Don't quote me on that, but it was towards the end of the 60s. And so like we're at the point where it's cracking. People are like pushing how far they can go with it. But even if the Hayes Code didn't exist, like I feel like if I go now to some film producer with this script, and I feel like 80% of the film producers would be like, yeah, it's a great script. You can't do the castration thing, man. You gotta change that to something else. You have them hit him with a stick. Other than that, you just take it to the really weird you take it to A24 and they'll go for it. This is a joke. I know
Oh yeah, yeah.
I know A24 does other kind of movies. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what else I've seen Ed Begley in, because I was like, I would swear I've seen him in other stuff. Nothing's jumping out. Oh, he was in the 1970 Dunwich Horror. I'm gonna make you all know that movie exists.
Thank you.
1970 adaptation of the H.P. Lovecraft story, The Dunwich Horror. Yeah.
And as said earlier, he's one of the 12 angry men.
No, he's actually the secret 13th man.
Real.
I like, a lot of these people kind of had very good careers before and after it. I was actually going to ask Jazz, how many Paul Newman films have you seen? I know you're not as up on
This
classic
is my
movies as I
first
am.
one. I actually looked it up while I was watching. It's like, oh wow, I've really never seen a Paul Newman movie. Wow.
Wow,
Isn't he so
surprising.
dreamy?
He's not my type, but I understand why he would be somebody's type.
It's just easy to get lost in his eyes. What can you say?
They are very pretty eyes. They are very pretty eyes, yes.
Apparently, that's the whole reason. We'll never get to talk about Cat on Hot Tin Roof, so I'll pull out my one bit of trivia about it. Apparently, that's the only reason why the movie was in color. It was supposed to be in black and white, but because they got Elizabeth Taylor and Paul Newman, they're like, but their eyes are so pretty.
Yeah, no, that was the correct choice for that and that alone. Uh, but and also gratuitous ab shot of him working out and showing off his abs. You're welcome, male attracted people.
It is kind of interesting when you step outside of like, so this is the era of film that basically coined the term male gaze in film. This is the era that would give us Barbarella, for instance. which we're not going into it because you don't have time. So it's kind of interesting. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it was just like Tennessee Williams's influence behind the scenes. The only person the camera ever really leers at in this movie is Chance. Is more undressed than Alexandra for the most part.
Again, there's something very refreshing about it. Like, he's played as a sex worker and not really in a negative light, and his body is kind of shown way more than any of the women's. Although that also might just be because, again, Tennessee Williams was very gay.
Well, Tennessee Williams didn't direct it.
This is also true.
Our director was a guy named Richard Brooks, who, I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of them, but he's got a lot of very famous movies. Blackboard Jungle. He directed the Cat on a Hot Tin Roof adaptation. In Cold Blood. He wrote a previous episode, Key Largo.
Oh, well, there you go.
Montego, ooh, we're gonna take you to.
Yes, thank you, Justin. This is better than Key Largo, although I did like that one more than I was expecting to. Yeah, it's I guess I wanted to ask people who know the South better than me, is St. Cloud, Mississippi like a real place?
At first, I thought they were referring to St. Cloud, Florida. I was like, oh, I thought you were leaving Florida.
Me too.
Because that's where I lived for a number of years. Hold on a second, I'm looking it up.
Because they have to take a ferry to get there.
It does exist.
Nice. I always like places. It's probably not an island if it's in Mississippi, but
Or, okay, that's weird. It was saying it was Mississippi Valley Traveler, but it does seem. I'm so confused because the first thing that popped up was Minnesota, but then it says something about the Mississippi River. Is that maybe that's what?
The St. Cloud Dam is a dam across the Mississippi in the town of St. Cloud, Minnesota. I always forget that the Mississippi is just that fucking long.
Yeah. What the fuck?
Imagine if this movie took place in Minnesota. Very different.
Yeah, he's in St. Cloud on the pretext of them being on their way to Hollywood. Imagine that being that detour. It's like, oh, we're taking the scenic route. We're just going to go north for 1,000 miles.
Is this a case of writers can't do geography?
I think they just wanted a name. I think it's a fictional town.
True.
When you're positing, oh yeah, every single person in this town is in the pocket of this monstrous hypocrite asshole. Also, they have oil fields in this, which is more Texas. I don't know. It's kind of a mishmash.
Yeah, it's all the bad Southern stereotypes.
Which I guess Tennessee Williams could do that. They named a state after him down there.
Although actually not all of them. They're not enough hillbillies.
Well, they're kind of like in a different part of the story.
True.
This is one that I think is just more of a me thing. Aunt Nuna, it's Chance's aunt.
Aunt Nani, I loved her.
But she's also with the Finleys for reasons. I'm not sure why.
I think she's not literally of Chance's aunt.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that's just what they call her. Not uncommon with Southern white people, and also other groups, but like it's one of those things that white Southern people stole from others. Let's put it that way.
Because yeah, they say that Chance's mother died, and also Finley's wife died. A lot of dead mothers in this.
So Chance's mother died, and so I'm pretty sure Aunt Nani is. They say that she is Finley's wife's sister, but she was also very close with Chance and his mother. So I am going to go ahead and assume that they were secret. And I'm dragged off stage.
No, fuck it. Why not?
Headcanon accepted.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, this podcast is very pro Aunt Nuna. This is a pro Nuna space.
Yeah, no, she's great. I love that she got the last word.
But no, I'm just imagining this movie taking place in Minnesota, and therefore all the characters speaking with like a Minnesota nice accent, and it's a different it's got a different vibe.
Yeah, that would have made the ending line different. Hey, oh there, you going to hell there, bud?
Not everyone is the Coen brother. It's also a very sweaty movie on a on like a visual level, everyone seems to be sweating all the time. Honestly, it's kind of like Key Largo in that way too. Everyone seems to be sweating and hot all the goddamn time. Maybe that's what makes them all act like such huge assholes.
And you know what? If it's enough to justify why all that went down and Romeo and Juliet went down, yes. Like, heat can turn you into a real raging asshole.
I mean, let's see. It's like Mississippi in April because all of this is taking place over Easter weekend. So yeah, I can see it being like 80 something. You know, nowadays it would be like 100 and something, but you know.
God damn it.
We did kind of brush across the rest of the Oscars this year. I'm trying to think if there's any that I need to see Divorce Italian Style. I've heard it's very good. But yeah, it was, I mean, like, it was the Lawrence of Arabia year. It and To Kill a Mockingbird walked away with basically all the Oscars, which, fine. Oh, hey, this was The Music Man, won best music. I actually saw that one.
Oh, I didn't realize the Music Man was eligible. Hell yeah!
I do. Zandy made me watch The Music Man. That also where does that take place? Now I want to double check before I make this joke. Joke on hold.
Oh, there's nothing halfway about the Iowa way.
Okay, so so this is taking place just north of that is taking place north of this movie, and they're gonna pass each other on their way out of town.
That'd be extremely funny.
Yeah, I guess we should briefly talk about Lucy, who fucks everything up for Boss Finley, and we have no choice but to stand.
We really do. And I mean, after how he treated her, no, like, I was already hating on this man for numerous reasons by that point, but he just snapped that thing onto her. What, for the crime of using his daughter's name as the adjective it is? Like, do you even like this woman, asshole? You're having an affair with her, and for what?
I think that was intended to be like retribution for theoretically writing on the mirror, Boss Finley can't cut the mustard, which,
And I get that, but Jesus.
listen, man, I've seen the way you act as a human being. I don't need to fuck you to know you're not a very good lover.
Oh, there's no way.
It, the fact that you got to keep your girl in a $50 a day hotel, which is, Jesus Christ, how much is that in today money?
Hold, please.
Yeah, it's like $500 easy.
Christ, $500. So that comes out to
$554.84. I'm gonna die.
Jesus, man, that comes out to like, what is it, 15,000 a month. For that much, you could get like half of a shack with utilities included.
So you're saying that the Love Shack is the little place where?
We can get together there.
Tin roof. Arrested. With the cat.
Okay, I'm fine. No, I'm not.
I had to, I'm sorry.
No, it's good. You gotta keep your mistress up in a $500 a night hotel in order to keep her interested. Bestie, you're just not very good at this. It's fine. Actually, it's not fine. Go read the Kama Sutra or something. I don't know.
It is good to know that, linking it back to the earlier bit about now is the same as back when, Lucy is infected with like at least some kind of brain rot because they're watching two television shows at the same time. They're cutting their nails. They're reading a magazine. I think they're doing one other thing at the same time.
R.I.P. Lucy, you would have loved the error of the second screen content.
They would have loved this time.
Lucy, we're going to go ahead and take Lucy and Alexandra into modern day, and Alexandra is going to be a film star, and Lucy is going to be her controversially younger girlfriend with a TikTok addiction. I'm working on the remake. Bam.
And chance, you will do bangers on you'll do numbers on OnlyFans.
Yeah, that I guess is sort of like the we're we as the Academy as a institution is still very attracted to movies about sex workers in one way or another. 2 academies ago, Nora won Best Picture along with a bunch of other stuff, which good. I like Nora a lot. I like the Florida Project more.
That's very fair.
But it's I feel like I don't know. I feel like we're gonna have to start reaching the point where like prestige film engages with OnlyFans as a concept, not like necessarily this website itself, but like what it means for modern sex work. Because Honora is a very old fashioned idea of sex work. It is not OnlyFans and ManyVids and get posting pictures of yourself on Instagram to get more followers kind of sex work. And I wonder what that's going to look like because so far the closest any piece of media has come to addressing that is season 3 of Euphoria. This ends my sentence.
Everything I learned about Euphoria was against my will.
This film also does fall into the sub theme of a lot of Oscar wins, which it's still this movie is still nominally about the Oscar or about Hollywood or being an actor. So Alexandria probably isn't the best example of an heiress, but they're the stereotype that they fall into is certainly something that I could see. It just kind of like look at this great person past their time, but by God, they're still trying. They're gonna don't call it a comeback. They've been here for years.
She even has this like rant at the midpoint about the like cruelty of the close up, which I will admit I have in my notes that I was just sitting there thinking like, yeah, I saw Sunset Boulevard too. Equally cold take to my earlier one. Also a good movie.
It is funny in terms of a I don't know, an exercise in vanity. Like she in her mind believes that the audience will it's almost like I don't really want to use the word for it exactly, but like she's almost dysphoric about her age because like she can't stand the idea of people seeing her as she is now, and she runs out of the theater, goes into a weeks long binge, going and like becoming an alcoholic. They're getting hooked on hashish or benzos, and like they get a call up from their agent. They're like, "Oh yeah, everyone loved it."
It's your best film yet. It does come when you put it like that. It is rather silly that she got it went into the spiral over it.
It's kind of funny. Like honestly, part of it even makes me wonder if like for the first like 2/3 of the film, I was sitting there going like, "Hey bestie, I know that movies are movies, but like if you're gonna be talking about if this woman's going to spend half the movie talking about how she's washed up and ugly now and no one wants her in the movie, the audiences don't want her anymore, don't like the way she looks anymore, could you maybe cast someone who isn't just like stunningly beautiful?" And part of me almost feels like that's the joke now. Like she spends the entire movie
Mhm.
talking about how awful she is, and like, no, you're gorgeous, baby. If you look hideous now, I hope to look as good as you 20 years ago.
Margot Robbie is the wrong person to cast if you want to make this point.
Mm-hmm.
Or even someone even age wise, like I think Paul Newman and Geraldine are around the same age. Like maybe if they casted an actress who was like, I don't know, like 15 years older, 20 years older, it would probably like read better. But again, it's almost like I think that's the point. It's like they're all in their head about it.
If you think that's bad, it turns out Kim Cattrall played her in a stage adaptation at one point.
I need y'all to know Paul Newman is a year younger than Geraldine Page.
Of course he is.
I mean, that's just absolutely putting me in mind of that one 30 Rock bit. You can't believe that I things I've seen, but I'm 30 now, time to die. It's I mean, I don't know if that's not the joke, then I don't know if I've seen a starker example of and a male actor is a male actor's washed up age is 75, a lady actor's washed up age is 31. Yay.
Basically, it sucks. I guess it's nice to know it was always this bad. We just have access to every stupid opinion out there.
Maybe we shouldn't. People of the internet, here is your challenge. Ask yourself before you post your opinion, does this opinion need to be heard by people? Is this a dumb opinion? are other people also stating these opinions? And are they considered smart people? And if they're not, or if you want, or if it's a dumb opinion, maybe don't share it. You can have thoughts you don't share. We all need to relearn that.
Is it kind? Is it helpful?
That's I actually think it needs to be the number one lesson everyone in the world needs to learn right now. We know way too much about each other. We can, in fact, have thoughts we don't share.
Bring back secrets. Bring back diaries.
I would like y'all to share your thoughts. In specific, do you have any final thoughts to share on this movie?
I'm sad that it's not talked about more. This is genuinely a really compelling film. Like, I was going through some of the reviews, like, so many of them were like 2 or between 1 and 2 stars. It's like, what movie did you watch?
Let's see. I wouldn't say that I disliked it. There are other Paul Newman movies I like more. Like, you can't really compare it to like Hustler or Cool Hand Luke or Butch Cassidy or other things like that. But or even like, honestly, I kind of like I like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof more. But, for what it is and what it, it's not bad. It's nowhere near bad, honestly. It just, of the people who are involved in this, I like the stuff they've done other than this more.
Well, yeah, of course. Of course. I like Glass Menagerie and Streetcar better than this, but that's still a pretty high bar there. Like, that can't be where we leave the bar.
Yeah, I guess that does make it very similar to Key Largo.
There's also the fact that, for like, do I dislike Ed Bigley's performance? No, but living in a current era has made my tolerance for even fake, odious fucking monsters just much, much weaker than it was. Like, maybe if I didn't have to like live it every day, I would like think it was funny more than I do, but
Sure, but we get to see him get some level of just desserts in this movie, at least. He actually does face some consequences.
Every so often, I think I rolled it up like once or twice now. I roll up a movie that won some Oscars called Elmer Gantry. And Elmer Gantry is about a con man who teams up with a religious fundamentalist to like con a bunch of gullible people. And every single time I'm like, no, I cannot emotionally handle this right now. My final thought is Alexandra Lucy, 300,000 words slow burn. AO3, don't let me down. No, that's a lie. I don't actually usually like fanfics about movies. Actually, I like this movie. Justin is correct. I liked Cool Hand Luke more. I liked Streetcar Named Desire more. But that doesn't make it bad. It makes it not as good as some of its contemporaries. Jasmine, my friend, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
I sure do. I am the host of An Each Retelling, the podcast where we explore all the ways old tales are made new. None of the works of Tennessee Williams are in the public domain yet, but who knows? Maybe somebody will throw a wild card at me. And you can find me at Favorite VR on all the socials. And hydrate or dihydrate, it's getting hot out there.
Hopefully, this won't be still this hot when we upload this episode. Justin, do you have anything you'd like to plug?
My plug is a Finley Eugen. This is my Finley Eugen pin. I think I can use that as a plug. My secondary plug is my secondary plug is this is when the clown makeup goes off. This is the serious plug. My serious plug is for my cat Bird. I kept thinking about it because of the title, the Sweet Bird of Youth, and my cat got to be decently old. Like he was like 15.
Aww.
But I thought about it when I was thinking about the title.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Good night, little bird.
Can't believe we didn't talk about the clowns at the ending parade.
That, honestly, I wrote down, it's like, wow, it's the perfect visual metaphor.
I did have in my notes something about the clowns bowing their heads and taking off their hats solemnly. Got a genuine just laugh out of me.
I did laugh at the clowns, very, very solemnly going along with the Pledge of Allegiance. The other actual joke that got a laugh out of me was earlier on with the dipshit doctor. He's like, well, you don't have to worry about the cesarean scars. The only people who are going to see it is your husband, hopefully.
Christ.
As always, our host can be found on Blue Sky, Medium, and Letterboxd at LSR42, and on Tumblr at Football in Tuxedos. This podcast can be found on both YouTube and Spotify. If you liked what you heard, maybe give us a comment and tell us what you liked, or just like the video if it's on YouTube. Subscribe. Make sure you get new episodes. They come out every other Wednesday as of right now. And if you didn't like what you heard, I'm sorry.
And thanks to both Jasmine and Justin for coming out. Or I shouldn't thank Justin because of what Justin did to me. Because Justin reached 10 episodes a little bit ago.
I did.
Got his episode rolled up for our next one.
Uh-huh.
So next time here on The Biggest Night in Podcasting, we are going to be discussing Life is Beautiful.
Isn't it just? Isn't it just so fucking beautiful?
Hope to see you there, or I'm suffering for nothing.